G'day, it's Sly the Linux Lounge Lizard here, and I wanted to make an update to a previous video I'd made on using Android phones as webcams, and in particular, multiple phones as webcams. I'd used a utility called Droidcam and it worked quite well, but it limited you really to using one at a time and switching between them. Well, since that time, Droidcam has come a long way. So much so that they now have developed a plugin for OBS Studio, and it allows you to use as many phones as you'd like as webcams. And using phones is a great idea for a webcam because, as you know, the picture quality in phones nowadays is great. And even an old one, the one you're looking at right now, it's not even set to high resolution, and it's a Galaxy Note 4 used as a webcam. That's fantastic. And really, you can set up multiples. For example, I'll show you another one. I've got one set up over here. There we go. That's an LG phone, an LG V20. Now that's a fine phone, but it's already getting a little bit dated now. So you can see you can have a lot of fun switching between the phones, and I guess get creative in whichever way you want to set up your phones. Now there's a nice other little utility that I need to show you here. Stand by and I'm going to show you how you can remotely control these cameras, because see, they're out of arm's reach. But I'll show you how you can remotely control them with a little utility that's built in. And all you need is a browser to connect to the camera, and then you can adjust things like focus, brightness. You can select the front and the rear camera. You can turn on the flash. All these wonderful things, all with a browser. So stand by, coming up in just a moment. Alrighty, so now what we have got, are a couple of little browser pages that I've just, made smaller. All you really have to do is go into your browser and put the IP address. And I guess I might go to the other camera, because this one is looking like I'm talking out of the side of my head. So let's go back over here. There we go. That's a little bit better. So what you need to do is just open a browser and type in the IP address that shows up on your camera when you run, on your phone when you're running Droidcam. It'll give you the IP address to connect to. So just open your browser, put in that IP address and the port number. In this case, you might be able to see it says 4747 as the port number. You do that, and then it comes up as a web page. If you want to have it as a little floating window like I've got here, you just click on that, on the bottom little button. There'll be a bottom little button there before it becomes a floating window, and that breaks it out into a floating little window as I've got here. Now let's have a look at what can we do. I'll open up the other camera just so that you can see. All right, I'm back. The problem that I had was that the little windows that you see up there were from a previous video attempt that I had made, and they weren't current. So I've just gone into my properties for those little windows. They're actually the X composite source in OBS Studio, and I've applied them to the correct web page. And so now I can show you there's a drop down for focus. I can do a infinity focus. I can do an automatic focus. I'll go autofocus there, so you can see the picture of me on the left there. That's in focus there. The one on the right should also now still be in focus. But if I go infinity focus, you can see the focus changed ever so slightly there. That's in theory now like a very infinity focus, so it shouldn't really matter how much I move around. But the only problem with that, of course, is it's not quite as sharp as I could like it to be. So I would go autofocus and either put it in autofocus. Now you try and watch the image of my face here as I hit the autofocus button up here. Here we go. Now, okay, and I'm expecting, did I hit it right? Did it do it? What about continuous? There we go, continuous. I don't know why the AF didn't work, but I hit continuous and that worked. That should follow me. If I go in and out, that should follow me. And I might do the same on the other one now. Let's go over to the Note 4 which is over here, and we'll go, oh, it is already on continuous, so that's the same. So this one up here should stay in focus. Now, here's another little trick on both these cameras. Look up here. See that one? That's the flashlight. I can actually turn that on. So I've got a little bit of extra lighting. I'll just turn off again so you can watch it. There you go, a little bit of extra lighting on the other one. It's only subtle. Watch my glasses. You can just see a little bit of extra lighting come in. Now, it's handy if you don't have adequate lighting around you and you need that extra little bit of lighting. So all these lovely little features here, and we can also change the camera from the front to the back. Now that's brilliant. If you actually want to see on your camera the like selfie image of yourself, you can flip the camera around and you can set it here to be on the back or the front camera, as you will. I personally like to use the good camera. It gives me all these features, all the autofocus features and so on. Maybe your phone is different. Maybe your phone allows you to do that with your selfie cam. I also have a exposure value here. Now it's currently set to 50. Let's see what happens when I change that. Oh, look at that. Hey, how versatile is this Droidcam OBS? It's just so easy and wonderful. Now, a little gotcha that I found here is that, let me just turn one of these off so it's not quite as confusing. One little thing is that it is meant to be able to be installed or used, I should say, wirelessly and via USB. And the idea of going USB is so that there is little or no lag. Well, can you perceive any lag in what you see in front of you here? This is wireless. That's right. Both of these cameras are on the same wireless network as the PC that I'm recording on. And no lag. What does that mean? Well, it means that I can pick that camera up and walk around with it if I like. Now, my audio is on a separate microphone, but in Droidcam, you can just tick a box to say you want to use the audio from the phone. So if you want to go mobile, walk around the house, walk around the garden, do what you will, or have a second camera person, you can actually run audio directly from that as well. Being in a desktop environment here, I do find it much nicer to have a microphone here in front of me. I don't know if you can see it. I'll lift it up a little bit. There we go. We've got a little USB microphone. It's a Samsung Go mic, and it does a beautiful job. It's got a little 10 dB attenuator in it, and that means that, yes, it's a bit quieter, but when I come in close, it's crystal clear, and I don't pick up noises around the back and from the rest of the building. So look, Droidcam, I got to say, go for it. This is, remember, this is under Linux, but it is able to be used, I believe, in Mac OS and in Windows. There are other programs similar to this in Windows. I saw one recently that a guy did. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this guy here. Let me just see if I can pull this up. And get rid of these other two little boxes here. And this guy, right, very exuberant chap, Scott Fitcher. He gives a lot of interesting talks and lots of tips and tools on how to use OBS. The last one that I'd seen, though, was using this thing, as you can see down there, called IV Cam. Now, it does a very similar job, but when I actually saw the things that you've got to do, and it was, his example was Windows only. In fact, he doesn't actually talk about the operating system at all at the beginning of his videos. He just assumes the whole world runs on Windows. And I know a big part of it does. But you've got to install drivers separately, and you've got to fiddle around a little bit. And it's not as easy and straightforward. And I doubt whether it's as clean as OBS. This OBS plugin is the best I have seen amongst all of these various utilities. And I've tried IP cam utilities. I've tried screen copy utilities. I've tried all sorts of things. This one, OBS Studio, is beautiful because it makes the most of the camera and it makes the most efficient use of the operating system and the communications pathway between the phone and the Linux desktop. As you can see, no lag, and yet this is being used wirelessly. I'm pretty sure you'll find with the IV cam that Scott's talking about is that it's recommended to use the USB in order to not have the lag. As far as I understand it, you're not going to see this kind of performance when you're running Windows. But you know, if you're a Windows person, I guess that's probably a way to go. Look, other than that, please give it a try, enjoy, and kudos to Dev47 apps, because they really have come up with the goods this time. So this is Sly the Linux Lounge Lizard, and until next time, thank you for watching.